Welcome to the African Hub for Sustainable Creative Economies Knowledge Hub, a place to share research, knowledge and ideas, funded by the Arts and Humanities Research Council in the United Kingdom. This chapter considers how artists are making a living through and for visual arts in East Africa. This is a collaborative research project which involved a large international team. Andrew Burton is a Professor of Fine Art at Newcastle University. Lilian Nabulime is a sculptor and Senior Lecturer of Fine Art at the College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology at Makerere University. Robert Newbury is a Professor of Entrepreneurship and Head of Entrepreneurship and Innovation within the Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Strategy Department at Northumbria University. Paul Richter is a Senior Lecturer in Innovation and Entrepreneurship at Newcastle University Business School. Anthony Tibangana is a Lecturer in the Department of Marketing and Management at Makerere University School of Business. Andrea Wilkinson is a postdoctoral researcher within the Interactions Research Group and Lecturer in the Masters of Design and Art Education programme at the Lucca School of Arts. This chapter examines how visual artists construct sustainable livelihoods both through art and for art. It explores the areas identified by artists where professional development would help their careers, and the areas where greater capacity is necessary to develop a thriving visual arts ecology. The chapter reveals that there is little systematic data that exists on the state of the creative and cultural economy, CCE, in East Africa. More specifically, there is no clear data on how visual artists make a living in East Africa. The overarching goal of this research project was to contribute to building sustainable livelihoods for individual artists and, in the longer term, building capacity in the wider CCE in East Africa. The aim was both to explore how art professionals developed and sustained their careers and to identify the gaps in provision that visual arts professionals saw as most critical in inhibiting them from developing sustainable livelihoods in the CCE. The initial research included 21 interviews with a range of working artists from Kenya, South Sudan and Uganda, and action research oriented around the development of a toolkit with 60 participants during 3 workshops in Kenya and Uganda. The interviews explored personal narratives in becoming professional artists, with a particular interest in how they incorporated entrepreneurship into their practice. Through a mixture of presentations and artist-led group work, the workshops explored current and potential art-based livelihood strategies and sustainable opportunities to build visual arts capacity. The cultural and creative economy sector remains a precarious place to build a livelihood. Existing literature argues that artists need both artistic and entrepreneurial skills to build a sustainable artistic livelihood within the culture and creative economy sector. However, combining the entrepreneurial and the artistic for many CCE actors is not straightforward. CCEs in Uganda, Rwanda and Kenya are regarded as key to, quote, delivering the next phase of growth and increasing prosperity, end quote. Cross-country collaborations within East Africa are seen as key to developments within the visual arts community. The British Council report, Scoping the Visual Arts Scene in East Africa, identifies a number of priorities for development which would better enable artists to develop their careers. These are 1. Professional skills 2. Practical mentoring 3. Artistic exchange and collaboration 4. New ways of showcasing work. The project found that artists could be grouped in terms of those who were making their living through art and those who were making a living to enable their artistic practice. The findings are organised to reflect these 2 main groupings. The first, making a living through art. The overwhelming majority of visual artists who are able to generate a sustainable livelihood through some form of art-related activity do so by assembling a portfolio of work by exploiting their artistic competencies in a variety of ways. The second group, making a living for art. It is often difficult to artists to make their living only through art. Overall, the findings of this project demonstrate that it is possible to make a living solely through art practice, but there are many more examples of mixed portfolio livelihoods. The data from this project supports the argument that livelihoods dependent on artwork are notably precarious. The workshop-based research opened up a complementary set of discussions concerned with the wider arts ecology. Workshop participants highlighted and identified the following critical areas of the arts ecology: East African arts mentoring, networking and collaboration, entrepreneurship skills deficit, curating skills deficit, and artistic writing deficit. A set of recommendations emerged from the project and the review of literature in this area. It's argued this will benefit the sustainable development of the visual arts ecology in East Africa. 1. There is a need for further development of contextually relevant mentoring programs. 2. The provision of a variety of opportunities for East African arts practitioners to meet, exchange ideas and knowledge, share resources, and build collaborations. 3. Resources need to be marshalled to facilitate and develop an entrepreneurial mindset amongst artists in East Africa. There is a need to address the curating skills deficit. 4. More effort is required to combat the arts writing deficit. 5. There needs to be movement away from the prevalence of non-East African voices in the curatorial and arts writing communities. If you would like to read this research in more detail, consider purchasing the book, Developing Creative Economies in Africa, Spaces and Working Practices. You can keep up to date with our work and research via the social media channels of the African Hub for Sustainable Creative Economies.